This is the slide, man. You see what I'm saying? And if we can get that pile in front of the window.
So what we're working on, what we've decided to do for the Homebase project is we're making this like pile of textile objects that's sort of based on like a post-apocalyptic world. And
No, it's survival. It's survival. It's for post-apocalyptic survival.
yeah,
Everything that you need.
One of the things which I have felt rueful about, sad about, dismayed about, distressed about, is how Harlem is changing. Wherever you go in the world, if you mention the word Harlem to someone, they automatically know where you mean, and they automatically associate that with African Americans, because Harlem, by the 1940s, had become the largest black settlement in the entire world. All of the new people who are moving here, who have more money, including the black ones, are gentrifying Harlem. But the white people are easier targets because they're more conspicuous and more obviously different. They more obviously are the dreaded other coming here. This is an expression of the acute frustration that people who live here feel, knowing that Harlem is changing and feeling that there's little that they can do to affect that change and to prevent themselves from being pushed out altogether.
Okay, you need to figure out.
These silhouettes were taken from a video piece that I did called Kupos. This is going to be on that side and this one's going to be on this side. So actually what's happening now is they're making the stencils and then they're going to be painted onto the wall. And there's going to be a point where the painting is going to meet in the middle of the floor and it's going to be an object. The first week is going to be a bottle of maybe beer, and then the second week it'll be a pair of sneakers. My mother used to tell us, what not to do, what to do and what not to do. And I think that a lot of young people nowadays don't have that. They deal with things a little different. They deal with things kind of violently. And the things that they care about are just totally like material. They see rappers and people in music videos with these things and they think that that's what life's about. It's not just the rappers, it's media. If people were taught the proper way of being at home, they would go out in the world and deal with things differently, not in a violent way, but maybe in a more rational way.
If you can just say a few words about the neighborhood and some kind of general changes.
Yeah.
The Dutch established a colony in this vast area that they called the New Netherlands that included Connecticut and New Jersey and Delaware and New York. They established this village of New Harlem because it had a geographic relationship similar to the two cities in Holland called Harlem and Amsterdam. Harlem remained this sleepy kind of former farming community. There were some well-to-do people who built grand houses here, and at the end of the 18th century, Harlem, West Harlem particularly, was sort of the equivalent of the Hamptons of today. If we go down St. Nicholas Place, you will see that there are 5 freestanding houses there. Well, once upon a time, 100 years ago, all the houses for the entire length of St. Nicholas Place, from 149th Street all the way to 155th Street, all of them except for the row of houses on the west side of the street, which were built in the 1890s, all of them were freestanding houses. And one by one, they were demolished and replaced with the apartment buildings that are there today. In most instances, trying to get more money out of their investment, they made the houses smaller than a full 25 feet width. Another way in which they economized is that they did not go to the most prominent architects working in their time, who also were the most expensive architects working in their time. Instead, they went to people who specialized in designing row house groups. These people were marginalized, were looked down on, were not appreciated, and yet the very skyline of Central Park West is due to the brilliance of an Emery Roth, who came here from Hungary as an immigrant and as an orphan. He manages to bring to apartments for that same class of people, working class and middle class people, stone carving of the very highest quality.
First, what you get this piece out.
Wait, so you want to move this into the space? Okay.
This is for two, this is for one.
Two big ones. Two giants. You want to tilt it?
I think it'll be pretty clear once it's unwrapped.
So,
Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
All right. You have a good time with your son tonight, okay?
Yeah, I sure will.
Yeah.
Oh, I have a door! Yeah, I spent my first hour in here yesterday painting. I don't know if I'm ready in 1.5 weeks. I will keep working, that it's in process. And me being here, working, and also cooking, and people can share. I share my food with them. They can socialize and eat.
It's coming along. It's there's so much sound out there that it's hard to catch it all.
People should set aside the superficial differences that they have in order to embrace their great commonality, which is the fact that a few rich people control everything and the masses of poor people suffer. My point is that one should instead, conversely, create a mechanism whereby poor black people who live here and who've always lived here continue to be able to live here. For me, what was so marvelous was having this layering of culture upon culture, of art from different places, from different times, and therefore something far more significant and marvelous than it would be if it were just one thing or the other. And that, of course, ultimately is what Harlem is.